All right, happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you guys had yourself a great Wednesday. I hope you stayed dry. It's been a little wet over in my neck of the woods. Brian, howdy, how you doing today, brother? So we did while off from the live stream. I did a little bit more work on the character art for Wani, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. We're going to do some more work on her. And let's see what else is going on. I think that's about it. I just made it back here in nick of time. I was out and about picking up some new clothes and whatnot, and out shopping with the family. So, but anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. So come in, tell me how you're doing, what you've been up to, and how things been going with you. Pretty good. Still battling some worms, but not many. Way more flies today, dozens. Yeah, yeah. We've had a lot of flies lately and stuff. Luckily, I got one of those Dynatrap things that actually help out a lot more. Frontierman, how you doing today? So, but anyway, guys, we'll get started on this. We, like I said, I did a little bit more work while on the downtime from the live stream for on our character art. Let me flip over to the other live area. That way you can actually see this. Let me pull this is my cover page. So as you can tell, I started blending in the skin color for the face. And as you can see from this section, these colored pencils are what I use to be able to do the skin tones for the face. So it's not just a matter of just using a simple peach or flesh skin tone in order to get a good, nice, dynamic feel and be able to feel like it actually has like blood flow in there, where you can see a little bit of a blush, like in areas where you have like it's thinner at, so you will get a little bit more of a red showing too. We use different colors and variances to it, and of course, she has sort of like a little bit of a glowing type piece to her. Rain again. Yep, it rained down here too, so it's been pretty saturated with stuff. However, the bamboo trees have been loving it. They're actually the sprouts are getting nice and bright green on everything. So other than that, that's been doing great. Inside the house, the problem, I kill a couple, and the next time I go to the kitchen, there's a couple more. I have a couple of bug zappers plugged in I bought years ago, which used to work well, but not this week. I may need to replace them. Going to get fly paper tomorrow. Yeah, the hangers. Got a ton of rain again. Yeah. Like I said, my bamboo trees are loving it. So anyway, we're going to get back to working on this. Let me put my little blending color pencil. I'll put that up there. And I think I'm going to start working. I have a couple of little pencil marks that you can see where I was kind of laying out for the hair on it, for her hair stuff. So, okay. So anyway, let's see. Let's get rolling. Another thing is you'll notice, like I said, when I did all the hard surfaced objects, the armor, the helmet, and stuff like that, I used an ink for it to where it actually showed up a lot better. It was very clean, very precise. And like with this is actually a colored pencil, and this is actually a dark umber. And where there's the glowing around the eye area, I actually used a indigo blue on top of the dark umber to help really get that same type of bluish tint and tone to it. So, but we're going to work through the hair, and then we're going to work over to this face and the hair on this. So the neat thing is her hair is like a white type of hair. So here it's going to have a little of a bluish green tint, like a little bit of an energy type tint from it, from the rest of the stuff going around. So we're going to work on that type for a little bit of a glow. Alright, so let's see here. We probably first want to, let's get a very light, maybe even lighter tint than this. Let's see. Maybe we'll swap them out. Let's see what we got here. These are kind of on the yellowish side. We might actually use a pale for some of her hair, our powder blue. And we'll use this light green again with that. And let's see here. Do I need anything over here maybe? Do I want maybe a sky blue? Let's see. Maybe get away with the sky blue, because that might actually work out with the white hair a little bit. We'll try that out and we'll see how they blend in. And of course we want probably we'll bring up the grays. These are the different grays and specialty colors. Let me put these guys down here for a moment. There we go. Come up with a better system than these trays. They get all over the place and everywhere. Alright, so let's go to our scratch pad here. Nice thing about the scratch pad also is that you can kind of put it up next to the work and the piece and the work, and kind of get an idea of what we're looking for. Yeah, the sky blue is very desaturated, so it's almost almost non-existent. Got the light green, that'll come in a little bit lighter. And then of course we have the powder blue, which I think the powder blue might be a little bit, yeah, it's just as desaturated, just a little bit flatter, not so vibrant. So this we might save for something else. Let me throw that back over here. And we'll stick maybe with these guys to start getting this hair going a little bit. And what I like to do with this is, here's my white. I'll use my white. And I am going to actually take my kneaded eraser and work this pencil even further away. So that way when I use the white, it will barely have a grayish tone to it. Because if not, the white will pick up the lead. And we don't want that. So we'll come down here and we'll catch this one too and kind of clear it out as well. So, but by all means, like I said, I hope you guys are having yourself a great day, have a great evening. And Thursday went well, I hope, for you, for everyone. And you come in, you want to chat with me, tell me how your day's been or what you've been up to or what's going on. You have a question for me or want to see how something works, by all means. So let's see here. So now that I got that, I'm going to give a little bit of white because it's not going to show up really that much on this Bristol board. But what it's going to do is it's going to start laying down the blend because her hair is going to be white in the character and stuff. So that way we'll have a good base for that. And I'm just going to stick this. This is all the skin tones and the other section of the glowing bits that we're going to do because we're going to use those similar skin tones for this part. And of course her hands, her fingers are down here that you don't see because it just has the glove. So anyway, let's probably going to start with this powder blue first, or the sky blue, not powder blue, because this is a little bit lighter. And I'm probably just going to kind of just start to work it in nice and lightly. I'm not putting really any pressure on it at all because I don't want it to burnish it, is what they call it. If you press too hard, and it starts to get that nice, really thick sheen to it. It's called burnishing, and that kind of, for a lot of pencils, it makes it a little bit more difficult for it to blend. These are soft Prismacolor Premiers, so they blend relatively easily. So. And this kind of is already going to blend with that white that I laid down. So, let's see. Just a couple of wispy hairs pulling out. That might actually work out pretty nicely. Throw it that way, and this one will go that way. And let's just stick that off to the side. And then we're going to go to this light green because we're going to have a little bit of a tone tint to that. And when we go to do any little bit of a heavier accent to it, we're not going to use black. We're going to use an umber color, or a color that would kind of match to it. We might actually go with a little bit of a darker blue if we want to accent that time a little bit tighter, which what we might end up doing. We might actually use this color here just to give a little bit of tighter, sharper tip. John, thank you for liking the stream, brother. I hope your day's going well, my friend. So, staying dry over in your neck of the woods. So we're just going to kind of give a little bit of, this is a much darker area. Johnny, Stevie. Hope things are going good, brother. I'm working on one of my new character designs right now for a story that I've been working on. I've actually been kind of laying out for the past couple of years, and it's just now I'm finally getting happy with some of the concept art pieces that I've, for the characters, for putting them together. I got probably about, I don't know, 20, 30 versions of this character Wani that this is kind of like coming up to the final portion of it, so working on that. And let's get this white. Now that we got some more color put in on that line there for the hair, we're actually going to bring that down in here, and we're going to use the white just to help blend it and smooth a little bit more. And we're going to take a little bit of that sharpness of that one color pencil off with the white here. just like that. It's going to give that, help give that glow of what's coming off of the eye. So, to make sure we don't have any leftover colored pencil, use a brush. So, what's new in your neck of the woods, John? You having having fun out there playing in computer land? Okay, so we got some sky blue down here. Let's see. Let's bring this down. And let's go back to this one. This is a, I think this is like an aquamarine, yeah. So let's run this guy. Like so. And as you can tell, my table is actually tilted at an angle from me, so it's not completely flat. That's the reason why the pencils roll all over the place. That's the other reason why I need to come up with a better system. I'm going to probably create something in CAD and 3D print it and make a new piece to where I can have all my colored pencils, easy access for me to get to. All 250 of them. A little crazy. Alright. Grab the electric eraser here and we're going to clean up some of that line that I might have missed for the actual regular lead. Let's pull this line out a little bit there and use our fingernail. Clean off any of the excess. That way we have a nice clean pickup with the colored pencil. Because an electric eraser, like I said, does great for cleaning up little tiny blemish mistakes or whatnot and tighten up lines on colored pencil. The polymer erasers that you have for these free fills for this are really nice, which I might have to grab a couple because I think that one's getting a little short on me. All right. Now we want the hair not to get toward it mimics this. We want it to be light and airy like that. So for her hair that's going to be around here, it's going to be glowing. And this is going to be all used. This white hair is going to be more warm grain stuff because it's just another image. It's going to be imposed in the front of it. So, and as you can tell, I kind of kept it white, and this is kind of a gray for the hair that goes with this model, this picture. So the detail one in the background is the one that's going to have the very light tinting. So let's run this like so. So, and when what we're going to do is we're going to work in some in here. That's going to be for it. So, alright. Let's go to the aquamarine now before we jump back to the white. So the aquamarine, we're going to give it a little bit of a sharp kick on it for like that. Go to the white. And then the white we're going to use just to smooth and blend it out. There we go. So, and for those of you who haven't known this character, this character I created, her name is, it's going to be awesome. Well, thank you, Frontier Man. It should come out nice. Did put a lot of work and the thought into her. She's kind of, the storyline is sort of a fantasy, futuristic, little bit of a story to it and stuff. Kind of a pilgrimage type story. And she's actually a pilot for it's not exactly a mech, but it's sort of more like it's a ship of sorts to it. But anyway, the Japanese term Wani means crocodile dragon. So, like I said, here's the scales of like a crocodile for like the armor when she's in suit up area, and this is sort of has a similar feel to it, but this is when she's not hooked up to the actual piloting rig. So it's Like I said, it's something that I've kind of had in my head for a while that I've been slowly piecing together. So she should start to work out pretty good. So let me throw some white down in here because we're going to be doing her hair up back in this behind the other hair. This is where it gets a little tricky because we're going to not have the hair that's up front that's on the other version with the bluish glow. It's going to be just more of a pure white type feel to it. So it's going to have that and it's going to have some warm grays with it that'll blend with it. And we might add a little bit of light umber just to give a little bit of a earthier tone to it. So anyway, let's go to the sky blue and we're going to see how we're going to run these striations through just to kind of show that we have run it across a little bit this way. And I'm going to, once I get this laid out, I'm going to go back over and start erasing more of the gray for the other face. But in the meantime, this is going to be a good guide for me. So, and the other character board that I'm going to be making is going to be for the male lead of this story. This is a female main role or main character of the story. We could put it. And some light green. Give it a little bit on the lower part of the lines. It's going to be a little bit richer up here as it gets a little bit darker for in the back. And we'll probably bring in some of that, a little bit of the indigo blue into here too because it's how close it is in reference to the eye. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm looking at my chat screen and stuff over on this side and the camera's up here if I'm looking off to the side. I have a tendency to do that when I'm talking to you guys and just seeing if making sure there's nothing I'm not missing in the comments. Let's see. There we go. And then the aquamarine, but I want to get this cleaned up real quick here because I pushed through a little bit. Okay. And now we're going to use this to give us a little bit more body and detail to the hair. So we're going to run it down this way. I'll go ahead and put this up here. Like I said, when you do the colored pencil, even when now you do the skin, like you'll see when I start to do the skin, it might not look right at the start, and it may feel a little odd, but once you start blending in the colors and stuff is when it really starts to come to life with that. So I got new house insurance today. Citizens, there's either Citizens or Tower, and Tower's more expensive. Want me to do some stuff with the house? Current house insurance. Swift is leaving the state. I'm actually saving about $900 from last year. That's phenomenal, Brian. I'm glad you got that, man. That is a good deal. Okay, on to the white. So now we're going to follow the hairlines and start using the white to blend the colors in together. And we're going to see where we need to add a little bit more in. Like around here, I'm going to add a little bit more in. I don't want to go too heavy on it because her hair still is white. So what I might do is I might actually use the blend pencil. Thank you. Definitely a good deal about fitting for my house. 800 square foot house. Cool. Like I said, I'm glad you're saving some money on that. There we are. We'll run that up through there. Run this up in here. this is just burnishing a little bit with the white just to kind of fade it out. And now what we can do is we can actually go to the clear, which, as you can tell, it's getting, I'm almost used it all up. I'm very good about using this stuff up, and it gets actually so much that the glue has released it through to where the lead pops out. That's how short it's gotten, because there's a split that occurred, but we're going to still work with it anyway. So we're going to take this and we're going to use this to help. Instead of darkening around with some more colors, we're just going to keep blending it and smoothing it to where we'll get that kind of light feather we're looking for with this hair. And then we're going to go back over again and kind of mix it in a little bit more with the skin tones that we're working with. So and even in this, some of it we're going to end up pushing a little bit harder on to get the color we're looking for. Right in and out. Okay. So let's go to the light green here, and we're going to gently add some more in, just enough. Brad, thank you for liking the stream, brother. I hope your day's going well, and that you're having yourself a great day, a great Wednesday. So, it's nice seeing you in here. There we go. Alright, now we got that going on. We might actually take actually, I'm not going to play with that yet. I'm going to go to the indigo blue later. So let's go ahead and let's see about clearing up some of the day is going well. Quiet night at work. Thought I'd pop in and say hello. Well, I'm glad you did. It's good hearing from everybody and say everybody. We're working on one of my characters from my story that I've created. This is Wani, and eventually I'm going to have everything kind of put together for it. Piece looks great. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. This is, like I said, about 20 so revisions to this character concept, and this is sort of like the final. So we're kind of doing a nice clean artboard of this, and then I got to do the other main character. This is Wani. The other guy is actually he was a space pirate type guy. It's been since changed, or he's reverted over, and ironically his last name is the same last name as yours. His name is Captain Shroom Jacobs. So didn't think about that. That's actually kind of funny. A little bit of irony there, I guess. And this is going to be, clean off some of the wax area here. I'll show you what he actually looks like. I got a concept sketch I did of his face. Let me reach over here and grab my artboard and I'll show you. So here's my sketch pad, and pull out my pencils that I carry around with me. Put them over here. Let's see. And I got him a little sidekick that I pieced together pretty well. So here's Captain Shroom Jacobs that I kind of have for his for a portrait, a profile shot of him. So, and then this is his little sidekick. You know, the space pirates, they have a pirate. Well, being this is a fantasy one, he's got a little alien in a spacesuit. His name's Zeno. So, but we'll have some more info on them, and I'll have bigger character boards done up on them. So let me put them back up there. But anyway, great name. I know. It kind of is a blend of I had a little bit of it, and then some references that my daughter had dad had helped me come up with a decision on that name. So, oops, what happened? I dropped my cover. Let's see. There we go. Put that over there. I think my eraser's about spin on that. Let me put these guys off to the side here, and I'll grab myself another pack. Where are you boys at? Oh, they're on the other. In the back here. So, let's see. And these electric erasers, they come with two different size erasing nibs. I use the thin ones, these are the fat ones. So, and I'll show you what comes with this electric eraser that's here. So, excellent tool, especially if you're doing any artwork or architecture or anything like that. They're great for getting rid of fine details. So that's all it is. And then what you do is if you have a hard time having control, you get one of these guys. This is an eraser stencil. See, it's got for straight lines, got for thick curved dot areas and stuff, to where you could actually go through and you could actually say, oh, I need to get rid of this little section here. You could actually use this, pull it up on it to where you could tie it in with that curve, erase it, and works out great. Nice little tool to have. So let's change this out. Yep, I think I used him up pretty well. We went from that to that. So this guy, I'm just going to put off to the side there. Put this one in the new. And just pop it in. Off we go. Ready to rock again. So let's put these guys back up. And I'll put him down there for now. So, alright, back to work. Let's see if we can work this hair, get some of these highlights for this hair cleaned up. As you can see, I'm able to clearly go through the colored pencil and pick the colored pencil back up, and then use your thumbnail and just use the thumbnail against the eraser, and it pulls that colored pencil waxy buildup off. There we go. And we cleaned all the little eraser boogers off. Okay. So I have that basic look. I did a generic type of set of eyes that I'm going to probably match to that now instead of those that are on her face right now. So what we do is we warm up our eraser, a kneaded eraser, and then we just kind of make our tip that we want. And we're going to, with this guy you don't have to push. You could roll them up and down on it and it'll pick it up slowly. But this you can drag it a little bit. You'll see it makes a little flat spot, and by dragging a little bit you can actually roll it, because it'll pick up the lead, get a little dark. You can really just kind of go that way right on through, and this will lighten it out, so that way when you put your colored pencil down it's not going to be so muddy. It won't gray it out. Or so let me just kind of do this, flip them out, bend them over. So we'll just put it down like so. There we go. Alright, I say we should probably start working a little bit on that. We'll work on the skin tone for her. Let me go in the electric rays here, and I got a majority of everything I need there done up, so I'm just going to clean up some of the sharper lines that I want off of that. Because any really detailed area on that stuff was not going to be done with black. It's going to have a little bit of burnt umber or dark umber, and that'll help with it. So with her skin tone that I started out with this color. It's a cream color, and it kind of has the yellowish area. It brings in the yellows for the skin tone, and you're not going to push hard. They're going to look very sickly when you first start out anyway. So we're going to have the yellowish skin tone. We'll fill it in there, in there. We're going to do the back of her neck here. This is her ear area. So we're going to kind of just, we're not really going to go over the pencil marking areas. We're going to kind of go in between them. So that way, and if it feels like it, or it looks like that you might have built it up, you use your scratch pad just to kind of clean it back off. And that'll help you get nice clean lines. Like I can see one of my construction lines here. There we go. Because when I throw the colored pencil down over that, that'll actually bring out the construction line that I had for the actual top part of her uniform, her suit. So again, this is the exact same way that I created this section here. We're just going to do it with the smaller portion of it, and we're going to start to flesh in and go around the lips, because the lips, I don't have really a lot of yellow in there. If I go in, I might go in with a different, I might actually use this color right here, which is a sand color instead of the cream. So now I bring this up around. So like I said, she's going to look like she's sick at first. Alright. What I need to do is I think I might, once I do this and I kind of get all the analog versions done up, I might actually, because I have this pencil scans, I might do try different, maybe a couple different color variations, but I do really like this color layout so far. You know, I might actually see maybe if it looks any differently like that, and maybe do it digitally, like in Clip Studio Paint or in Photoshop, or I'll probably do it in Clip Studio Paint. I get a little bit better of a organic feel out of that. Photoshop you can too, it just requires a little bit more interaction to get all your settings set up, but once you do, it works out nicely. Excellent. So we got that. We also got the fingers down here, so we don't want to forget the fingers down here. So we can work with those, or we can actually, we'll do it this way and we'll work on that section. Okay, clean off some of the lead that came through there. So, and then the next color we work, because I'm working from light to dark. Some people work dark to light. I work light to dark sometimes, or majority of times for skin tones to me. Some people do dark to light, but it's just not me. This is a light peach color, so this is going to help to bring in a little bit more of the natural skin tone for this skin tone. There's like, gosh, you could probably come up easily with 6 different skin tones, but this is one that I've selected for her. So, and as you'll see, as we start to bring it in, you'll start to see that it starts to take, like, it almost feels like it starts to get warmth, almost like blood's flowing. So okay, and right now what we're doing is we're just building it up. We're not focusing so much on starting to get structural, muscle structure, where we're going to start to have shadows and highlights yet. We're just kind of building the skin right now, just to kind of get to the initial tint that we want, sort of like a flat, or hue, not tint, sorry about that, the proper color and hue for our flat, and then we'll work on some shadows and highlights. What I do is some people, like, the saturation is another thing that you'll end up playing with and working on. So that goes with the lighting. So once you get rolling with that a little more, but you usually have about 2 or 3 colors down before you really have a good sense of where your saturation is going to be darker or lighter on the color. Because just by simply adjusting that and how much color is laid down can really help for making the picture pop out. Alright, so as you can tell just by doing that, now this isn't even blended yet. or burnished, or where you press hard on it. This is all blended with the colorless blender. So once this comes about, you're really going to see it as you start to do it. It'll pop through. So color choice is always a good thing. I know these colors already because I've done the skin tone before. But if you've never done it before and you want to experiment, just draw some circles and then start working in, making a simple orb or a ball, a 3D ball, a sphere with the different tinting and shading, like you have a light source going out at an angle. It's the simplest way to do it, and then you can kind of, it really will help you pick out your colors and what will really work well. So in this case, like for this one, it was tricky because I didn't have skin tones. I had these 3 colors here that I added in with the white to help give the glowing effect on the face. So that took a little bit of extra playing and practice. So I made a little sphere with the skin tone and made it look like to where I say I had a light on it, to where the light was the hardest object or the brightest point, like here where her eye is, and then it's going to fade off and kind of help show the actual structure of the face. That's the other thing that makes that nice. It helps really sell that the face isn't just on a 2D page. So, okay, let me scroll this over so I can see my chat stuff better. Okay. Alright, so with this, I'm going to see if I want to start. I'm working on areas like around the cheekbone area where I work first, or on an area that might have some shadow first as I'm putting deeper and more color in, to see if I need to keep it there and keep this light, or if I just need to lay this one down, maybe a certain weight here and a little bit lighter weight here. And then the next color I'll work through that way as well. So. And this is really nice, simple stuff with colored pencil. And you don't even have to have an expensive set of colored pencils. You can literally go to the dollar store and get the same effect. You just have a different type of pressure that you'll put down on it, because sometimes the cheaper colored pencils are a harder media. So. Of course, the other trick to this is we have this coming with it. This is has a different light source that's on this picture than this background picture. It's kind of a neat layout, because this isn't going to be as detailed as the back page. So with the face, because as you can tell, you know, a simple scale can show that. But it does provide a little bit more of a more casual picture, because it's not in the helmet, so it's all kind of like, it's sort of like being off the clock to put it, that you're not all geared up. It's sort of like when you see, if you actually like, if you're in the anime or manga, we'll say, for example, like when you see them, like the action hero type ones, like My Hero Academia, say, they have them when they're all in their suits and stuff, and then they also have them in their school attire, but then they also have a section which shows them like at school, outside of their school uniform, and you're just hanging out, studying, talking about stuff, and that's sort of like the casual feel to it. So we're starting to really get that nice skin tone color with it, with the yellow. We have the peach, the peach and the light peach colors to it. So now we're going to do, that's about 4 in. And what we're doing is we're going to change over to this clay rose color. And this is where it's going to start to bring in a little bit more of these, a little bit of like a shadow with a little bit of depth, almost like you have like a little bit of blood flow. Like as you can see, like they're on the cheeks. I added these colors here with the cheeks just to give a little bit of extra blush, but like around the nose and stuff, where you're going to have really the thinner parts and where blood will really cycles through. When you look at your face and you notice, like if somebody blushes, it's always like the cheeks, and it's like up here and around, almost sort of looks a little bit not like a sunburn, but close to it. And then of course we're going to use this also to show for highlighting, like in the eye socket here we're going to start to work with. So this one's probably not going to go over all of it, because we're going to have a little bit lighter of a feel to it. But this is going to help us for determining where all the muscles, where the bone structure is, and the way that it's going to shape itself out. So, and we're just slowly building it into where you, just to where you get happy with it. So the nice thing is don't worry if you think you made a mistake. You can always be working, by working light with it, you can always tweak it and adjust it. Nice thing to there. So here with the ear, you're going to have sort of a light area, but in the middle, at the intersection inside of it, usually has a little bit more weight. And then of course you might have a little bit down the bottom there for a little bit of a shadowing effect. Okay, and we're going to run this, and we're going to start to bring it a little bit tighter here. Or actually, because it's getting that way, I'm going to actually take this pencil line right out, and then I'm going to come back over. There we go. That way we don't have such a grayish look on that skin tone. We want the skin to feel warm, to have like it's got some life to it. So we're going to use this to start showing that up on it. And because we don't want that either to be here with the gray, we're actually going to start to clean that up on the edge. Where this side, the way the lighting I'm going to put on it, because I'm going to bring the light in from this way. So she's going to have sort of like a bright area up. The bright area is going to be up here. So it's going to come through, have a light, a little bit of a shine on this cheekbone. On this side of the nose, it's going to have some highlight, a little bit of highlight here, and a little bit of highlight here. So with the lights coming this way onto the face. So this side's going to have a little bit of a dark area. What's going to provide with that is it's going to provide a nice contrast to the hair for the back and whatnot. So it kind of allows it like a dark with the light hair skin color area. It'll bring it out nicely. So let me put this off to the side and let me clean this up a little bit more. Now that we kind of have it structured out, we can clean up the construction line to it. There we go. A little bit of a dark spot there. There we go. Alright, back to the clay rose. So we kind of have a little bit there. And I'm actually going to probably use the clay rose a tiny bit. And I might go to the actual peach area, but I'm going to use the clay rose just a little bit in here just to kind of for the lips, because they don't need all that yellowish area for the skin tone. Just to give it a little bit of a hint into there, and we'll start working them in a little bit more. So, but we're gonna start working in the shadow here for around the cheek, or the chin, sorry. Going to the cheek. So we want to put a little bit too much on the lip on this side, so we're going to actually go through and we're going to clean that down a little bit. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Come back and we'll do a little light peach run over the top. There we go. Like I said, you can always keep working with adjusting it till you get happy with it. As long as you don't press hard, blend it, or burnish it in, you can keep working with it until you get what you're satisfied with. So we're kind of going to mimic that nose a little bit over here. So we want to put it sort of like that. There we go. A little bit of a shadow in that effect that way, and of course the nose is going to cast a little bit of a shadow too. So we'll run that through. We're going to have probably a little bit of a glint of the cheek here, so we're going to lightly blend this in around the eye. the cheek area, for the cheekbone, and this is going to have some more over here. And of course we're going to run it that way. And the eye socket, we're probably going to have a tiny bit here where the eyelid, and this is the underside of the eyebrow. So we'll run that through. Over here we can put a little bit on it because the way the eye socket runs, how it recesses in as well, and around the eye. And of course, this goes down to the nose. We're going to use this to really give that accenting out to where you can start to see the bridge of the nose here. You notice how when I put it to the light here, how this gets dark, and this has a little bit of a different shade because I got two light sources coming in. So I can actually do that, and as you see how the nose goes. So, good reference. Use yourself for a reference if you need to. So, and I might actually use the clay rose just to kind of highlight the eye and how I want it to work its way through. So, there we go. And then over here we're going to do the same. Can do something similar to it, just to kind of get a laying point for the eye. And by the way, my girls are here at the house, so if you do hear them, they do and you can tell me what they said. They have to come on live and introduce themselves. They're not keen about that. So. Keep your ears open. Thank you, Brian. Brian will call you out. So, of course, we have a little bit right here, this here area here where the eye, the top of the eye socket is. You're gonna have a little bit of shadowing here, and of course, you got a little bit of shadowing the way the hair, because the hair just isn't like flush flat. It kind of pushes out a little bit. So we're gonna put a little bit through up top here also. That way, when we do the hair, also it'll allow you to push it down and through. And of course we're going to have any little bit of shadowing off of some of the hair that's pushed on that. And the way the forehead runs across, we're going to run it nice and lightly up here. Kind of get that understanding of the angle. So, alright, and that's the clay rose one. Now what we're going to do, so we're going to go to light umber, which is this color, and we're going to actually start to bring in a little bit more detail. So we're going to actually run this, and this is going to start showing more and more detail. We want to give a little bit right here for the cheekbone. There we are. And we want to do the shadowing for the neck area. And then we'll probably bring in a little bit in here just to kind of highlight some of the actual parts of the ear a little bit. Before we'll come back over it again with the dark umber even. So, and then of course at the end when we use the sand's going to help out with some of the highlights. So now we're here, we want to, actually let me go back, I missed a spot with the nose. We'll go back to the clay rose. And we'll run it up like so. That. There we go. And now we're going to take the light umber here, and we're actually going to bring this. And this is going to help us just to get a little bit more of the hair feeling to it on the outer part. And we can actually, if we want to, we can slowly bring a little bit more in here just to give it a little bit extra tone without putting it hard on there, because we're going to go right after this, we're going to be doing a little bit of blending, and we're going going to use the colors blender just to start mixing the colors together, just to see what we have, how far, or what we need to tweak a little bit. And then we'll do a little gradation here. And here we're going to put, for the eye socket, we're going to have a little light spot there. That's why we're not putting too much emphasis on that. We'll run this in. Here, got the bottom of the chin. So, we're going to run that way. And then here we're going to put some over the top here, a little bit there. Go run that through. Okay. So now we're going to see where we're at with stuff. We're going to use the colors blend pencil, and especially being this is going to be flesh, we want to make sure we don't have any of that greenish blue or aquamarine that we were working on earlier with on this. You might just put it into the pencil sharpener if you need to, just to make sure it's nice and clean through. As I can tell, I got a little tip of it right on the top there. That little black would have really kind of made it a little poopy. So we're going to take this and we're going to work the lights in first. And we're going to slowly blend it nice and light. I'm not pushing hard, as you can tell. I kind of got it at the side like this. So I'm actually working it and doing small little circles just to kind of work the colored pencil in together. And as I get closer to the darker colors, I start to go from a circle to where I start to pull them into the color as in the line direction that I want it to kind of portray or push. That way it blends in a little bit nicer. So we go this way, a little bit here. We can push this down a little bit in. So I hope you guys can see this, but you can see how it's starting to really, the colors blend and it really starts to smooth out and not look so, I guess you could say, so textured. It kind of starts to feel more soft, like actual skin and flesh tone. So, okay. That we're going to do a little bit of a swirl here, because what we're going to do is also we're going to start adding a little bit of blush in for around the cheekbones, and show some where there's capillaries. Get a little spot here with the way the eye runs, a little bit of a light spot there. So right now we're just kind of pushing the color around just to get it to where we want it to bend the way we want it to. Clean off some of it, then we're working on another position, our spot here. This gives that cheek, that soft glow of the cheek, the eye hitting the cheek, the light hitting the cheekbone there. Looks good on my 43-inch screen. Good. Glad it's coming through okay. At first, it looks kind of funky because it's just there. So. And then, as you can see, I just start to pull and drag a little bit. I'm going to do a little circle here for the chin. Alright, run this here. And we're going to take a little bit of the skin tone here. Work that in. Alright. So let me put that up. So we got that blended in a little bit better. Let's see if we can, as you can see. So now it's starting to smooth out and look a little bit cleaner on it. So now we're going to go back over yet again, and we're going to find a little bit more of the colors that we want to use. We're going to use a little bit of these now. This is it should be a light pink or blush pink, and then the pink itself we're going to do to start to put in some of the actual sections where we want capillaries, the blood flow, the blood showing, or it's actually like it actually has it where it draws up a little bit. So we're actually going to first clean off some of the excess. And we're going to do light short circles to where we can work it in nice and evenly as possible that we want for the. There we go. And by doing all the tonals that we did already, and when you blush over with this, you'll have a dark and a light that still have the pink. So let's a little bit of light here, a little bit there. You know, I'm about ready to have some new people coming on my show here in a moment, because they can't seem, for some reason, they just seem to be chuckling out there and laughing and giggling. So we might actually have to put them to work and do something. So, what do you guys think? Okay, so we got a little bit of there. Let's put some of this light pink into the lips as well. We're gonna hit little areas on it. I know my little girl's gonna be looking over top here, over all my lighting and stuff, just to see what's going on, because I can see her barely a silhouette of her through all my lights. So here we go. Now we'll brush that off and we move on to this. I don't hear them yet, so they must not be loud enough for us to hear them. No, I got my microphone on. If I was at my standing desk where I actually have my boom mic, maybe they might hear them. Going to hop in the shower. They'll have fun when we bring them in. All right, well, we'll see in a bit, Brian. So, let's bring a little bit of a. This is a brighter pink. So as you can see, we're starting to bring in some of the blood flow to it. We're going to put it probably right around here with the eyes a little bit. So, hi, girls having girls having a good time. Yes, they are, and it's not bad. It's just kind of, it's hard. It breaks up my concentration when I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to talk to you guys about. I do like to hear them get laughing and giggling and goofing off. It's just messes with me sometimes, because I get more curious and wondering what they're laughing and giggling about. Oops, that was a little bit rough on that one. Let me grab my blend pencil and see if we can work that a little bit lighter out. Yeah, there we go. Work that out a little bit lighter. Put a little bit of cream on that, or a little bit of the sand on that later. But here we are, we're bringing in some more of the blush. A little soft area there and there. Okay, so we got those. Now let's bring in some of the sand. And then with this, we should sand color will help us with a little bit of highlighting, because it'll help highlight a little bit of that goldish color to things. So like so. There we are. And then we'll come back over again with the blender. We got some more of the warmth to it. There we are. A little bit of highlighting there on that side. We're going to do a little highlight on the top of this. There we go. Now we'll come back with the dark umber, because this is what's going to start to give us some more of our detail. But let's add a little bit of let's do a little bit of blending to this stuff again. Make sure we're clean. We're gonna kind of eyes together again. Doing little tiny circles. Get that tint. There we go. Probably going to do is we're going to probably hit that light umber a little bit more first before we do the dark umber here, just to. There we go. There we are. Okay, let's actually go to the light umber and we'll work in some of the eyebrow. This way as well. There we go. Okay. Over like that. Let's hear the rain coming down again. There we go. Get the eye. Kind of the reasonable. I don't see all your name. The reasonable pharmacist. What are you making? This is actually a character art of from a story that I've been working on for a while. This is Wani. This is one of my characters I created. So she's kind of a fantasy space pilot. And right now we're working on the colored pen. This is actually the final concept, the piece that I've finally done for all the concept pieces on it to get her straight on things. So, oops. Hopefully, there we go. I had a little blip from when the storm started up here, where it slowed things down. So, but welcome to the live stream, and thanks for coming up and asking a question. I appreciate you hanging out. So. Keep bringing a little bit more of that. There we go. And this is just with the light umber right now still. We're just kind of working in the tones on this. As we blend it and work it in, we'll keep going. Let's try there, and then there. We'll do a little bit. And then we'll go to here. So, back from the light umber to the dark umber now. Now the dark umber is going to give us a little more of the details. We might actually do. Let's actually work. We might work on her eye before we put in the dark umber and get her eyes kind of done up. So let's actually. We're going to go with the light aqua. And let's see here. We probably want to give. Let me make sure I got that area cleaned out in there, because we're gonna. There we go. Clean the colored pencil wax off, or the coating. All right. in an eye. And let's go from the light aqua to the aquamarine. Start bringing a little bit of the little glassiness to it. And then we're going to go and move on to the actual, it's called non-photo blue. And for those of you who are not familiar with that, the non-photo blue basically means that it's like the other side of this Bristol board, which is the comic page. It's all printed out in non-photo blue, meaning that if you black and white scanned it, all the blue, the non-photo blue stuff wouldn't show up. So like if they were doing like on the back side here where I have all the, you can see like this where it says comic book cover and it's kind of has like the lines you can barely make out on this. Well, if I did the piece on this side, it would give me all the bleed marks for like a comic book cover spread. But when you scanned it, that wouldn't pop up or show up in black and white. So if you did like an ink drawing and stuff, you could use this. And they've used this like if you looked at any Disney animation series where they're working on concept pieces, you'll see that they have like a blue marking and stuff. This is what they use, non-photo blue. But in this case, it's got a nice brilliance to adding a little bit of depth into the eye. There we go. Now we'll go back to the dark umber, because now we're going to start putting in some more detail. Let's actually let's pull back up the reds, because we can get these, maybe get those lips brought in a little bit more. We don't want to be too bright. We might actually go with maybe this raspberry color. I think that's what I used. Yep, that's what I used before. And beam, they're not big. We're going to get a nice tight point on it. And we're going to work the lower part where the shadows are and where their lips touch, because that'll be the darkest point. Run it up this way. And we'll give a little bit, and we'll grab the blending pencil, and we're going to slowly work it out. We're not going to do circles, we're just going to kind of blend it in together. There we go. And let's see, let's go with a darker, maybe a crimson lake to show a little bit more of the detail of where the crease, the lips, the lower and upper lip are. There we go. Excellent. On the dark umber. Put those guys easy now. Put those guys back down there. Now dark umber. Let's see if we can. And then with this, I'm just kind of doing like little tiny, like almost like little check strokes, just to kind of give it to where you can feel like almost a hair layout for it. And I got a little bit of excess gray there that I'm not too happy with, so we're going to clean that off, and we're going to probably work in a little bit of the clay rose right there. And let's blend that out a little bit. Just to kind of, there we go. just a little bit of a, get some of the eyelashes and around the eye done up. This is what's going to help make it pop a little bit more. And constantly roll the pencil. That way you keep a nice sharp point when you're working on sharp areas. And you're just trying to give a little extra. Have a little tiny spot here. Excellent. Spot for a nostril, another nostril. There we go. Let's go back to that red. That's what's not working out right, is I need to get a little bit more like that. There we go. Wasn't quite looking right, and that's the reason why. Needed a little bit more on that lip to make it really show that it's going around. Okay. This way, go here, we can actually give a little light coloring, darken it out a little bit more for the eye socket area. We'll do the same over here. I'm going to run this in. Start to really get the dynamic of the face. And then the dark umber will come down. Chin. Kinda, let's see if we can get that. That looked a little too fuzzy for me. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can work that out. A little cleaning. Mega right. That's better. We're going to hit this. Run it up like so. And this is actually going to be somewhere where the hair runs. Dark umber around the other areas of the hair roots. course, we will have underneath. Put the get the ears set up there a little bit. Let's go to the light umber for the upper part, because we'll put a little bit of a lighting area up here. Alright, let's now what we probably want to do is we're going to go to a darker blue. Let's find that indigo blue, and we're going to use that to get some, to put a little bit more darker detail in the eye. So let's go to that one. Take a quick little break here and grab yourself some tea. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little bit more detail in that eye. And we don't want to leave the pupils around the eye white, because they look like they're glowing than like they are. So what we do, we use a 10% cool gray, and we basically give it a little bit of a tint or tone to it part way on the top here. That way it kind of gives you that shiny gloss look to it. And it dials it down a tiny bit. Much better. Now they don't look like they're like she's possessed, glowing. Alright. Let's see. She's looking great. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it, brother. Alright. What's going to be fun is we're going to mix. Probably going to do rendering marker for a lot of this down here, and some of it we're going to use for colored pencil just to keep some of the coloring through it, but like the grays and stuff that we'll use for the black and white section of the armor will probably make it look pretty cool. I don't know, we might stick with colored pencil still. It's been working out pretty nicely. I think we might actually go colored pencil all the way. So alright, let's see here. What do we want to play with those with that face a little bit more? Doesn't look too bad. Maybe we grab dark umber and let me see if there's some areas I want to just add a slight. That doesn't look too bad. Let's take the colored pencil. Are the girls behaving? Yeah, they've behaved. They've settled down. It's not a bad thing. Just messes with my concentration. So it's sort of like my problem a little bit. There we go. And now, that's good, yeah. So now let's see if we can, we need to definitely bring this down a little bit more of a notch over here first. Some shadowing. sure if I like that one line. Let's see. Can we blend it in? Yeah, we can. That's better. See, thought it was going to be a problem, but it ended up working out nicely. There we go. Alright, let's see here. I think I actually might erase a little bit here and bring another hair down in. Maybe I'll do that. Let's darken this area out. And let's go back to the cream. Maybe we'll bring a little bit of highlight back in a little bit. Slight amount of cream. Let's see if we can work in this hair. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Kind of brings in a little bit more natural feel, like there's a stray hair running around. I like that a whole lot more. Let's Yep, that looks a whole lot better. Okay, let's put those aside and let's go over here to the grays. We can put yeah, I think we might be okay. I think maybe we'll leave them here for now. We might be playing with those. All right, we want to go to we want warm grays here. So let's actually kind of clean some of this up a little bit more. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of using some of the gray and the white that I've already had for the hair here, and I'm just kind of cleaning up quite a bit and just leaving a couple of little important markers as I'm kind of picturing how the hair is going to run. There we go. That way it won't look so muddy because I'm doing white hair. Let's clean off some of that and build up. Let's clean off some of the snot. There we go. We want to run. There we go. Here and there. That's looking not bad at all. Okay, now we can probably come back. We're going to start using warm grays. We're going to hit the 50. We're probably going to start use a 50% just to kind of get us a good line out area that we want to do. So Sorry about that. My pencil sharpener, it can do colored pencils, but it sometimes doesn't like the buildup. So what we'll do is we're gonna use this 50% to kind of start to give us some details of the hair. We're just kind of trying to visualize how the hair will actually flow. This is going to be the sort of the back section that's going to go into the ponytail. This is going to be some of the other. Coming along, starting to get this hair built back up. For the longest time, hair had always been a difficult thing for me because they always wanted to get you start to think on all strand details and stuff, and you actually kind of like what I did here is I started out with this as the crown. And then I got the top part or back half of the crown, and I got the side section. And then of course you have like your smaller down tangles and stuff. And then up here is where we're going to do I kind of just did like sort of like a little basic like hair holder, just to kind of break up the white hair. Nothing too crazy yet. Alright, now this is the kind of mess in the back that way I kind of have set up. Let's see. Alright, let's see here. Go ahead and throw a base down of some 50 warm gray on this. We'll actually change this point into a cool gray, so we're going to blend cool gray into this. That way it separates itself from the actual hairstyle of the warm gray. So let's go to a 50 cool gray, and we'll add some of that in there because we're going to make this kind of match the body armor and stuff. It's going to have that more blue into it. Not coming out too bad. I'm bring that up a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. Got some eraser boogers all the way down. We'll get this whole thing cleared up so that way we're not. Perfect. Looks fantastic. Thank you, man. Like I said, a little bit of just keep playing with it, and a little bit of practice, a little bit of work on it, and you'll be all right. So we might actually let's jump a little bit around here, being we're playing with the grays right now. Let's go maybe to a third. Maybe we'll do a 20. No, we'll stick with. Let's go to the 30. We'll start blocking in some of this body armor. These will be areas that we're going to have that's going to run along. That's going to be grays. And let's see. This area will be gray as well. It's actually going to be like a little bit darker, much darker gray, but we're just kind of laying the base down that we want. Run out, that would be gray. Or this will be at the dark, like some of the blacker part of the body armor. Just like up here is going to have a black section. Can't tell you how many suit concepts I've been through. There's so many. just to get to this. But it actually pays off at the end because it's really looking nice. And we'll have here and here. This is going to be a darker color. The underbody of that, there. This is going to. These are actually going to be what I'm putting in, blocking in right now with the cut with this flat 50% cool gray. Is actually eventually going to have like sort of like a dark black indigo blue color. So. I'm just kind of laying it out right now so I can kind of see how I want to set the shades for everything, the shading. So, then this piece will come down, kind of have it mimic like some of the muscles and the ribs coming in. I find that sometimes by doing it this way, it actually, by making it to where it mimics actually the way the body moves with stuff, it kind of helps it out a little bit more. So that's going to be the other side over here. Got that. this one. There. Maybe right. I think we're going to do that. Let's see. All right. I think we're going to run that. This is going to be gray section 2 here. And we're going to have this actually come across. Yeah, I think that's going to work. We'll have a little breakup of it right here with that white. Inside center portion here will be darkened out also. Yeah, like that. Let me sharpen this out so I can. Okay, so we're gonna have that. This. Go to a silverish look. Silverish look. Okay. This is going to be black eventually. Same here. Then the area for the quads. The upper leg is going to have, these are going to be black, but I'm going to do them in gray because I'm going to give them a sheen to them because they're going to have a harder surface finish. So this is going to be like belts that are going to run off to each side. So we're going to have those, we're going to have like a silver, and then this is going to be part of the undersuit. So this is going to eventually be all black. By doing it this way, you're able to kind of get a whole aspect of the composition to see what's going to be really the darks and what's going to be the lights. And it helps out figuring out the pieces. So this over here so I'm not running against my rest of my section here. And now you actually start to see some more of the utility belt. Now you the suit starting to comes more in the fruition. Because right now it's got a lot of squiggles that are just in my head that I'm able to deduce what it is. There we go. And this one over here. that's looking a little bit better. Oops. No, that's the one that I had for the red. That's not this guy. I don't want to get gray on it because he's going to be like a little light that's going to be part of the suit, help break up all this, provide a little extra intermediary ground area for you to, for your eye to be able to help keep it attracted to points on the picture. So we're starting to see. I'm starting to get an idea of what the suit's going to look like. So let's. These should be going to be dark on the arm. Like so. Just like over here. Lena Bai, how you doing? This is so good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's all colored pencil. I do appreciate the kind comment. Thanks for coming in and hanging out, enjoying the live stream. So, this is one of my own characters I created that for a story that I'm putting together that eventually everybody will read and enjoy and have a good time with. So, and I hope your day's going well. I hope your Wednesday went well. I do live streams Tuesdays and Thursdays. For right now, I'm going to try and do more, and hopefully I will be able to. Some of the client work that I do, this is my own work, so some of the client work I can't exactly post on here yet, so because it's the client's work. I'd have to get permission for them first for what they want. So, do you do artwork yourself there, Lena? Are you an artist yourself, or are you just a fan? Or are you learning or beginning? Or do you do other crafts? Don't mean to put you on the spot, but I like to chat with everybody that comes in. So right now what I'm doing is I'm blocking in the suit so I can get an idea for the full composition of everything. Of how I want it to scale up and look. There we go. Let's see. You're welcome. I usually work with watercolors and alcohol markers, so I really admire people who can work with colored pencils. That's very cool. I actually, a couple of live streams back, I did some watercolor, actually gouache paint, for a scene. I haven't done gouache paint in probably 25 years it's been. So I pulled some gouache paint out, picked some up, and pulled out my brushes, got everything prepped, and did sort of like a Studio Ghibli look. I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. He's all sorts of music. I love your artwork so much. Well, thank you very much. That's very cool. You'll have to, if you do any art live stream and stuff like that, if you post your artwork and stuff, send me a message of some of your social media stuff. I'd love to see them. And if there's something that you ever want me to post on here, I'll be more than happy to put it up. Or if there's something you work on, I'm always happy to show off other people's artwork that they've done. So. But I'm on Instagram, Facebook, there's obviously YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. My Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, you'll see some of my other stuff that I do, which is working with aircraft. But still, you get all sorts of neat goodies and stuff to see. But yeah, no, shoot me a message on one of those or find me on there, and that way I can follow you as well. And if there's anything you ever do work on while I'm doing my art thing, my sketch, I always encourage people to come up, either if they ask for a request, I always say, hey, let's everybody try it out and draw it along, because I do get people that ask me how to draw certain things, and whether I know what it is or not, I'll usually go find some reference pictures and stuff, and we'll see if we can break it down and set it up to where it's something simple to where you can start to learn how to decipher all this stuff to where you can actually draw anything you want with it. I love artwork. I've been doing this as long as I can remember too. Gouache paint is hard to work with. Props to you. Yeah, I did gouache mainly because I wanted to get myself reacclimated, because I actually want to try it, and I want to do the poster paint, the actual poster paint. I'd have to get that sent in from Japan for the no, I think it's called Nicker. That has the real, it's real, instead of it using a dye, it uses a pigment. Like, it actually uses a material for the coloring, so it comes out really vibrant. But I mean, it's very close to the same thing. But I'd love to see some of the watercolor stuff, or even the alcohol markers. I actually have watercolor markers that I use on some of this, and I was going to do that on this, and with a mixture of some rendering markers that I have that are like 10-20%. But I actually use these guys as well. These are chameleons. They're a watercolor marker that's actually pretty cool. Let me do a little stop here and show. You got your thin, your thick tip on either side, and they do very beautifully, especially for when you're doing rendering and you're running across the page area, to not have it toward it looks like you're tiger striped, as to put it. But up here there's a little clear tip inside, and what's inside here is a diluted material that when you take this and say you put these tip to tip, it actually fades this out to where you could actually do gradation work with this color. So like if you wanted this color, this blue, this sky blue, the BL3, but you wanted it lighter, you could actually work it in from an unsaturated to a saturated. So it's kind of a neat thing. It takes a little bit of playing with to get used to, but you definitely can do it. It's exciting, especially when you're experimenting with it, because you can come up with all sorts of neat little goodies. So let's see here. Yeah, that looks about right for this suit armor. This has a little bit of a flex to it, so we're kind of just gonna put that, yeah, that looks right. Put that this way and that way, and we'll run it through. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, it is. When I first came across them, I found, actually I can show you real quick on how easy it is even with this page. Like when you go to do your rendering and stuff, usually when you use a rendering marker, you learn to do your striping or your lines to where you just barely would touch, to where it would have a little bit of bleed. But with this one, being it's a watercolor marker, it actually holds a lot smoother to where it actually, when you run it through, you have very little striping, even on this type of shine wax type paper, as you can see. But like on the Bristol board, it really works out well, actually. Let me see here. Let me grab one of my, I'll show you. Let me take a quick minute here to grab one of my storage boxes, and I can show you what I did with the background. With one, I did it with, this is a mixed media page that I did with a, what was it, charcoal, ink, and then I did used rendering marker and watercolor marker that worked out really well. And I think, did I add a little bit of I think I might have added a little bit of a jelly roll to it. I used some gel as well, just to get the look that I want. This was a commission piece. Somebody wanted an H.R. Geiger inspired art piece, and this is my version of the xenomorph that H.R. Geiger created for the movie Aliens. But these marker pieces that are in the back here, this is all from that area on a Bristol board. So, and then this is all charcoal. Added some charcoal. This is actually gel, a gel ink that I did from the back side down there, and used white charcoal on top of this to bring back some of the brightness to it. So, but this is an actual commission art piece that somebody wanted. So, but it's really cool experimenting, playing with some of the new stuff just to get the looks, the look that you want. And did I do any on my space? I did a Space Ranger just recently too. We started it, an idea of it on the art stream, and then I got it finished. I got him actually create the time lapse for it. This is my Space Ranger. This was done in charcoal with a little bit of ink as well. So, and this was kind of more just, this was a lot of fun playing with, because I did it with a 6H lead, and that's a hard lead, so I could get my construction area laid out that I wanted for it, and then used my kneaded eraser to lighten up any of the lead off of it, and then I just went through it with the charcoal to get really deep, dark tones for it. So you can actually, it's really neat to play with some of the different medium. That's amazing. Thank you, Alina. Let's see, and what else? Do I have some other stuff that might? Oh, here's another good. This is another one that you can show. This is a mixture of colored pencil and uh, no, that wasn't one. That was just colored pencil, not rendering. Not using in the watercolor or rendering stuff. I'll have to find one of my other portfolios that has some vehicles, because if I do that, those used a lot of the rendering markers where they were just a 10, 20, 30% cool, warm grays, and you built them up to get the same look that you want. Then you used your different size inks, almost sort of like a drafting. Okay, what time? Oh, it's 8:52. Time is definitely flying. I'm going to probably get this leg done up here for what I need just for the flats to block in, and then I'm probably going to call it a night, because I might have to experiment with charcoal now. You really tempt me. Well, by all means, that charcoal is great, and general, these are what I use. I'll show you right here. They don't have the tips on them because these tips these are like old 1960 cover tips on it. But these are General's charcoal markers, and you can get them at Hobby Lobby or any other place that are on it. And they literally have a 2B medium, a 6B soft, and a 4B soft. So you can use the 2B to get some nice detail work with the medium area. They come with the white. They come with white charcoal lead as well, all white, that you can use. This is one that we worked on before I started this. This is actually one of the exercise girls that we did with colored pencil on a tan page. That's actually pretty good. We got to finish her up and then put a little background in that. But let's see. Did I do the other one? No, the other one was colored pencil. That one wasn't charcoal. I was trying to find another charcoal medium you can do. But by all means, it's nice. It's an inexpensive way to work with really strong contrasting tones. And then, quite literally, if you want to smooth it and work it out, I don't know if you're familiar with these. Some people call them a Conti, a Tortolon, or a rub pencil. All it is, it's just a Japanese, tight wrapped paper and stuff. And this is my charcoal one, as you can tell, because the tip is so black on it that I can actually take it here and I could actually bring tones in with just it from what I have built up on it. My other ones, like this is what they usually look like for using with lead and stuff, as you can tell. And then you get one of these. This is just literally a board with a bunch of sandpaper strips on it, and when you want to clean these off, you literally can sand it straight down on there. And these guys can help give you your different tones that you want by working it in from your different thicknesses on it. But those are awesome for the charcoal pieces. But anyway, it's 8:54. I'm plugging right along. We take my glove off. I'm pretty sure I have one of those. Awesome. If not, you can buy them in a variety size. They come in tons of different variety sizes like this. So they got thin, a medium, a thick. They got the real fat. Even, depending on what you're looking for. Like this one, if you really need to get really large areas, you can put it to the side and you can literally work it out nice and straight. Nice thick curvatures on it. Also another good, these are I got for Father's Day for my daughter. These are called sprout pencils. She got them for me because I like to garden. I like to do vegetable. I like to do plant stuff. So, and this lead is actually a beautiful lead in this. Actually, that's what I used to do the sketching with this. It was very easy going on it. It's got a nice light feel to it. And why they're called sprout pencils is because instead of the eraser at the end, it actually has seeds in there. Like these are forget-me-nots, flower seeds that are inside this tip, and it came with a big pack of them. So there's sage, there's all sorts of different little things in there. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing she got me. But anyway, let me get to the big face cam. So guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. It was a beautiful Thursday night. We'll keep working, plugging away on this. If I get done with it early, I'll get done with it early, and we'll jump back onto the exercise girl. And I will start with the character art page for my my other character for my story, which is, I'll show you one more time, my portrait headshot of him, which is Captain Shroom Jacobs. So he's going to be the other character. I saw that reference in one of your videos. Cool. Thank you. Catch you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. You too, Brian. You guys have yourself a great weekend. God bless. We'll see you guys on Tuesday as things start to get a little bit more smooth out. I hope we'll be able to get more live stream time in as I can. So in and out, but if not, we'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays still. We'll try and see if we can squeeze in maybe every other week and a Saturday. And maybe I got some, I picked up some clay and stuff. We might actually do some clay modeling and stuff on one of these areas, and we'll kind of lay out what we want for an armature. So we'll do a model sheet for them, and then we'll build the armature up, and we'll make a clay model for that, and we'll build a diorama. So it's similar to like the paper model diorama that I did a while back of the Japanese house. So, but anyway, guys, have yourself a great weekend. God bless, and don't forget, let's create something together. We'll see you next time.